Alright, so I am standing in the graveyard church and gonna learn a little about the people who are buried here. And some of the graves are way back. So let's begin with this one here. This grave is inside of a grilled up area. We're gonna go and see. And this one says This grave says, in loving memory of my beloved mother and grandmother, 1867, Sarah Allison, to 1975, sweet be thy rest. So they're saying that Sarah Allison was born in 1867. She died in 1975. And she's described as a mother and grandmother. And besides Sarah, we have here the grave of, and for those of you who have watched my channel before, you know exactly, you have seen this before in a previous video. This is the grave of Zilpha B. Manning. Says, in loving memory of a devoted and darling mother, Zilpha B. Manning, died July 19, 1970, age 64. Rest in peace. Sadly missed by Dudley, Vi, and Herb. You see Herb there? That's Herb McKinley. Herbert McKinley. The great Herbert McKinley, sprinter, fast runner. This is his mother's grave. And those are her children, Dudley, Vi, which is Vioris, and Herb. So this is the grave of Herb McKinley's mother. Yes, the great Herb McKinley. And we go over now to another grave here. And this one says, in loving memory of a dear husband and father, Deacon H.M. James, died the 5th August 1957, age 94 years. So Deacon H.M. James lived until he was 94. I think there is another headstone here. It say, in fond and never fading memory of our dear mother, C.F. James, departed this life the 5th of August 1972, age 94. Wow. So this is the wife of Deacon H.M. James. The both of them died at age 94. He died in 1957 at age 94. And then his wife died in 1972 at age 94. So both of them had long lives. The James, Deacon H.M. James, and his wife, C.E. James. I hope I figure out, I figure out what those initials mean. All right, let me go over here to this grave. Son says, precious memories, Daisy Albertha Richards. That's Daisy Albertha Richards, 15 of the 8, 1928 to the 13th of the 1, 2003. So she was born in 1928. She died in 2003. The grave of Daisy Albertha Richards. And there is a grave up there, but there's nothing on it. And this is the grave of Henry W. Richards. So this could be the the um the husband of Daisy. It says, in memory of a dear husband, father, and grandfather, Henry W. Richards, the 24th of the 12th, 1893 to the 21 of the 11th, 1980. Yes, so I believe Henry W. Richards was the husband of Daisy down there. The both of them are grilled up together. Alright, so let's come outside of this. And now we're looking at some other grilled up graves here. Pretty much all the graves on this side are grilled up. So let me see who's buried here. Okay. Here we are. Someone say, in loving memory of a dear husband, father, and grandfather, Herbert Ashley. Herbert Ashley, born March 21, 1927, died December 24, 2001. Your memory is precious and will never grow old. It is written in our hearts in letters of gold, sadly missed by family and friends. The grave of Herbert Ashley. And I'm going to assume that this is Herbert Ashley's wife. Says, in loving memory of our dear mother, grand and great grandmother, Myrtleyn Ashley. Myrtleyn Ashley. Born July 7, 1932. Now that's 5 years. She born 5 years after her husband was born. And she died October 3, 2014. So she lived like, I would say 13 years after the death of her husband over there, Myrtleyn Ashley and Herbert Ashley, husband and wife. Here are two more graves that are grilled up together, possibly husband and wife. And this says, it says, in loving memory of a dear father and grandfather, Azaria Booth, teacher. So maybe he was a teacher. He was born on the 29th of the 4th, 1903, and died on the 15th of the 1, 2004. So he was almost 101, 1903 to 2004. And the only reason he wasn't 101 is because April did not come yet. He died in January. So this is the grave of Azaria Booth, teacher. So he probably was a teacher. And then over here, no doubt it is his wife. Says, In loving memory of Mrs. Viola J. Booth, who died the 3 of the 5, 1983, age 72. So she died first. She died in 1983. So greatly missed by husband, which would be him over there at the time, in 1983. So that's a husband. Sadly missed by husband, children, and grandchildren. So Viola Booth died before her husband. She died in 1983, and he would live until 2004. Husband and wife again. I believe those could be husband and wife again. They seem to be that these over here, no doubt, seem to be husband and wife again. So let me go over and check out their graves. Say in loving memory of Iris Sylvia Eastwood, nee Heron. So she was born Iris Sylvia Heron, and then she married to Eastwood. Anyway, so in loving memory of Iris Sylvia Eastwood, nee Heron, born September 26, 1916, died January 1985. You notice they did not put when in January she died. So she died in January 1985. So she was born September 26, 1916, died January 1985. May your soul rest in peace. That's what they wrote on it. All right, so, and I believe this is, no. This is not her husband. This is actually the grave of a female. Says, in loving memory of dear Heather June Drummond, nee Eastwood. So this could have been the daughter of Iris, because Heather was born Eastwood and she married into a Drummond family, the Drummond family. Anyway, in loving memory of dear Heather Jane Drummond, nee Eastwood, born June 19, 1949, died September 1, 1986. So she died, and if my assumption is right that she's the daughter of Iris, she died a year after her mother, Iris, over there. Heather Joan Drummond. Behind them again we see two graves in a grilled up area. So let me go over there and see who they are. From afar, it appears that I'm looking at the graves of a couple. Let me go over this one. This one died first. This says, in loving memory of my dear wife, mother and grandmother, Mrs. Lillian Smith, born the 1st of September 1916, died the 15th April 1985, age 69. Lillian Smith. And over here, it says, in loving memory of my dear daughter, Marjorie Smith, born the 3rd of August 1960, died the 10th of November 1986, age 26. So this is a young girl when she died. She was just 26. Marjorie Smith was just 26 when she died. And I think this may be her mother. And if that's the case, it would be the same thing as those two, Iris and Heather, mother and daughter. Alright, so there's some graves here on the outside. Wow, look at this breadfruit tree bearing really some huge breadfruits here. Here at the grave of Pearl. We're at the grave here of Pearl May Thomas. Pearl May Thomas. Born April 16, 1925, and she died December 25, 2016. Merle May Thomas. She died on Christmas Day in 2016. Pearl May Thomas. That's Pearl May Thomas. 1925 to 2016. In loving memory of our dearest mother, grand and great grandmother, Iris Smith. Iris Smith. Born December 25, 1902, and she died February 18, 1999. Iris Smith. Iris Smith. She lived until she was about what? 96. No, 97. She was 97 when she died. 97. I can see here a very old grave. Old grave. You can see they packed it with stones. And then there's a headstone here, but there's nothing on it. everything had rubbed off. It's an old gravestone. Probably one of the oldest in the cemetery, huh? Probably one of the oldest in the cemetery. Here we are looking at the grave of Mrs. Elizabeth Ivy Ashley. June 16, 1903 to October 2, 1989. Ivy Ashley. Such a lovely church on the hill. Nice stone church. Will last for a very long time. And it's lasting for a very long time so far. Oh. Alright, so I'm looking at this grave here. It was broken in. Not sure what happened. It's well painted up, looking good. It seems as if someone else was buried here also, right here. It can be, you can easily overlook it, but you notice that there is a grave right here, but with no tomb, no tomb. So this grave was broken up. I'm gonna see if what I can make of it, of what was written there. It says, in loving memory of Esther B. Booth, died August 2, 1994, age 82. Says Esther B. Booth died August 2, 1994. I'm not sure, maybe the thing that they put inside behind it broke in. Whatever happened, something happened. Or maybe someone stood on it and it broke. Oh, what's this? Seem like somebody scraped away an old grave and then gave them some new look. Could be these. They're all tiled up. I'll have to see when they died. So maybe this was the old tomb in, and then they put new tomb in. All right, let me get inside of this and see who's buried inside of this fence wire. I must say it's a lovely place here. It's a lovely place here. There's it's quiet. All right, so I'm inside now. It says, in loving memory of a beloved grandmother, Mistress Adina Simpson, born 1888, died 1984. That's Mistress Adina Simpson, 1888 to 1984. Says, gone but will never be forgotten. Sleep in peace. And beside her, I believe is her husband, says, in loving memory of a dear uncle, Vincent Simpson, born 1910, died 1985. You will always be remembered in our hearts. Sleep in peace. This one says Shefita Manning Burrell. So she probably was born Shefita Manning, and then she married into some Burrell family. December 3, 1928 to February 2, 1985. Shefita Manning Burrell. And beside her, we see the grave of Theodosia. What's called that? Theodosia Manning. Dora. She was called Dora. Born September 15, 1898. Died February 1, 1988. At this grave down here, this person died in 1985. Let me go over there and check it. Says, In loving memory of a dear wife, mother, and grandmother, Ethelyn Josephine Gale, born November 1899, died April 19, 1985. So she was born in 1899 and died in 1985. Ethelyn Josephine Gale. Marion Christie. Marion Christie says, in loving memory of our dear mother, Marion Christie, died the 6th of February 1962, age 80. She died in 1962, age 80. Marion Christie. I don't think I can make out these two graves here. Let me see what I can do. No, I can't make that out. I can't make that out at all. I don't know what's there. Somebody would have to get a paint and trace the words for me to know who's there. I can make this one out. It says, in loving memory of my beloved wife, Maria Francis, who died the 1st of May, 1949, age 78. So it says, in loving memory of my beloved wife. So that's the words of the husband. Her name is Maria Francis, and she died on the 1st of May, 1949, at age 78. So who could that husband be? I'm sure that he's not alive. He's not still alive. So I don't know. Could it be this person? Yeah, it could be this person. I think this is the husband. Yeah, I think this is the husband. Says, in loving memory of our dear beloved father and grandfather, Bernard Francis, who departed this life on the 29th August 1953, age 82. Yeah, I believe that Bernard was the husband speaking on that epitaph. Because Maria died in 1949, Bernard died 1953. Yeah, I think that Bernard was the husband who wrote that on his wife. But he's a little far away from her and closer to this person. But that doesn't really have to mean anything. Beside Bernard Francis, we see Frederick Morgan Peter, 1892 to 1966. That's Frederick Morgan Peter. Says Frederick Peter, 1892 to 1966. Not many people from his funeral are still around, This is the grave of Walter Christie. Walter Christie, born July 30, 1906, died June 4, 1991. And beside him is the grave. This must be his wife, no doubt. Yes. A darling mother, grandmother, and friend. That's the name. Christie. She was born Allison and then she married to Walter and became a Christie. She was born in 1908 and she died on July 8th, 2001. So she buried Walter in 1991 and some 10 years later she died. So this is the grave of Walter and his wife here at Brixton Hill. Brixton Hill. Children playing there. The first grave I've seen over here with pictures says Zelma Evadne Gale. And this is her, this is a picture of her. She was born in 1927 and she died in 2021. 2021. What's this? Gita Richards. I have a problem pronouncing some fonts, so I don't know. That's Gita Richards. In loving memory of our dear mother, grandmother, and aunt, Gita Richards, born October 29, 1903, and she died March 20, 1992 at age 89. Age 89. Wow. This person has nothing on their grave. Alright, this grave is all grilled around. No, these graves, two of them inside of them, they are grilled around. And you know what the problem is? This grave was grilled around and then it was locked with a padlock. I'll show you. Somebody locked it with a padlock here. And as they clean up in here, I believe they clean up in here, they just left it. Nobody went inside and clean it up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna breach the padlock rule and I'm gonna go over in there, remove the thing, the whatever you wanna call it, from off it so I can read it. But I can't record while I'm climbing over. Alright, so I'm inside now. I climbed in and I'm inside because absolutely like nobody decided to come inside and clean it off because they lock it with padlock. Maybe they're saying, okay, you lock it up with padlock, so I'm gonna come and clean it up, right? But I'm gonna brush it off and I'm gonna read. This says, in loving memory of our dear mother and grandmother, Luwency Reed. Luwency Reed. Forever in our thoughts. That's it. There's nothing about when she born, when she died. Luwency Reed. Guess these people want some privacy. Maybe that's why they put a padlock on here. So they're gonna look at who's buried beside Luwency. Okay, let me slowly move it. I can see some bees. These bees are gonna bite me anyway. Right. So Dudley Reed. Dudley Reed. Born May 16, 1929. Died February 25, 1988. I believe this would be the husband of Luwency Reed over there. Yes. So he died in 1988. Dudley Reed and Luwency Reed. Now it's time to climb out now. I'm standing here at a grave that has no writing on it. And it looks very similar to that grave over there with writing. But I'm not going to assume any husband and wife thing because I don't know. This grave literally has nothing written on it. So I'm going to go over to the one with writing, and it says, in loving memory of a dear mother, Mrs. Lucille Williams, born March 31, 1901, died May 1, 1987. Lucille Williams, 1901 to 1987. That's a long life. That's a long life, Lucille. That's a long life. Okay, I'm gonna go over into this one. And there is a gate. I don't think it can be open because there's a grave, there's two graves in front of it. So I'm gonna climb in to read these graves. These look like husband and wife. This one says, in loving memory of Retilda Simpson. It looks away, but they have Simpson up there, and then they have her name. She was called Rita. They say beloved mother and beloved mother and great grandmother, born February 13, 1906, died May 21 to 1999. Died May 21, 1999. So this is the grave of Retilda, that's Retilda Simpson. Died in 1999. And this is her husband, Richard Simpson. He born 1904 and he died 1986. So he died before Retilda. Let's continue. These two graves are designed to look like each other. Says, seems like it says Ashley, but I can't figure out the other part. 1901 to 1997, age 96. Could it be Gertrude? Not sure. And then beside the same individual, the same thing happens to this person's grave. The name got eroded. But I can see 1904. No. I don't know what that is. But these two graves here, they are designed to look like each other. So if you're watching, you could come back and redo these graves, because the whole thing is rubbing out. It's another grave of a person, nothing here to tell you who the individual was. Oh, this is the grave. This has to be husband and wife. These must be husband and wife. This says, in loving memory of a dear father, grandfather, and great grandfather, James Gale, born March 18, 1893, died June 4, 2002. Oh my God, you were more than a centenarian. This means that James Gale was, wow, in 2000, my word, in 1993, he would have been 100. He was like about 109 years old. James Gale. Congratulations, James Gale. 1893 to 2002. 109 years old. And this must be his wife. Let me see how long she lived. Viola Gale. Granny. She was called Granny. Yeah, you would be called Granny in your older years. Who departed this life on July 24, 2003 at age 96. So she lived a year after her husband, James, and she was 96. Never lived over 100, but 96 is a very long time. These two people live very long. This couple, they live very long lives. I'm standing on the grave of Ethelyn Thomas. Ethelyn Thomas. It says, in loving memory of our dear mother and grandmother, Ethelyn Thomas, sunrise July 28, 1916 to sunset May 16, 2010. Ethelyn Thomas. She's grilled in with somebody else, but this person's headstone was not so properly made. They look like they just used something and write up on it and then it's all gone. So the headstone is all washed off. I'm gonna assume that Ethelyn's husband is here with her. The graves look similar. They design it the same way, the same tiling, but his epitaph is all washed off. All right, this is the only grave I see here that is, I wouldn't say grilled around. It's like a nice little veranda or something. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. A lot of efforts were put into this. Let me go over there and find out who are the persons buried here. I'm heading in now. So, wow, it feels so great. It feels really nice in here. Look at the tiling. All right. So I'm gonna start with the individual that died first. And this grave says, in loving memory of our dear father and grandfather, Alfonso Boise Manning. Sunrise 1923, sunset 1996. Alfonso Boise Manning. And I'm gonna assume that this is his wife. Says, in loving memory of our dear mother and grandmother, Mistress Ruby Manning, 1926 to 2012. So I believe Ruby Manning is the widow of Alfonso Boise Manning. We're looking here at a grave with a picture. This is the second grave I saw with a picture. A lady here. And this is the grave of Jacinthe May Richards, 1935 to 1996. Jacinthe Richards. Wow. Oh my God. I believe they should even just a little name plate they should have put on this. This seemed to be here for a long time now. Even a little name plate, just a little thing with a name on it. This one again, this one person, well, they got some name, but it's washing off. I'm not gonna bother. I wouldn't be able to read that. So I'm going inside of this grave now. Well, this grilled up. There are more than one grave. It's a grave of the Gale family. So let's go inside and see what their names were when they died and so on. Alright, so we're starting with the husband. In loving memory of a dear husband, father, and grandfather, Jonathan Gale, born September 19, 1907, died February 6, 1991. Jonathan Gale, 1907 to 1991. And within that period, he got married to, that period of his life, he got married to Lilia Matilda Gale. She was born on August 8, 1910, and she died May 1, 2000. So she lived some 9 years, I would say. Yeah, 9 years after the death of her husband, Jonathan. And now the both of them are resting here in the graveyard of the Brixton Hill Church. Beside the Gale, we have the Campbell. So those are the Gale, Jonathan Gale and Lilia Gale. We have the Campbell here. Look at their graves. Look at the tiling. Look at the tiling. So this we have Sarah Jane Campbell, June 30, 1930 to February 13, 2013. Sarah Jane Campbell, And here we have Silburn Adalgo Campbell. They used to call him Bon. No, Don. They used to call him Don. Born April 19, 1926 to November 18, 2017. So Silburn here, he died after his wife. Died some 4 years after his wife. Alright, so there's a dog barking in the background. I see this grave and I tried to go in and I realized it's grilled up and someone had used something here to, lock it. I'm not gonna breach that. I'm just gonna go over and read it. So this is the resting place of Getmita. I'm not sure what that is. Or Betmita Williams. Oh, Bertha. She was called Bertha. She was born February 14, 1918, and she died May 3, 2014. And that's a picture of her there. It's a picture of Bertha. My great grandmother on my father's side was called Bertha. I think one of these days I'm gonna go around and show their graves. My great great grandparents' grave, then oh yeah, I should have done that. Just thinking about it now, I should have done that. And I'm gonna do that. I am going to do that. So this is the grave of Gilbert Emmanuel Gale. Gilbert Emmanuel Gale, born the 26th of the 3, 1912, and died the 10th of the 3, 2013. So he was just like 3 days away from being 100 years old. Gilbert Emmanuel Gale. Here we have another Gale, Mavis Gale, May 13, 1913 to September 30, 2000. So Mavis Gale is probably related to Gilbert Emmanuel Gale. And here's another Gale. This looks like it says, it's kind of rubbed out, like it say Edeline Gale, 1917 to 2004. Yeah. Just gonna keep moving. This must be the grave of a small person or a child. It's small. All right, this is the grave of Brenita. This is the grave of Brenita Smith. Sunrise June 15, 1909 to sunset March 28, 2001. I believe. Brenetta Smith. Oh, I see a very darling woman here. What a beautiful picture. Look at this picture here. This is the grave of Vioris Richards. She was called Auntie Vi. Vioris Richards, July 24, 1907 to September 18, 2001. Mm-hmm. Aunt Vi. Aunt Vi. Some more graves down here. There's some more graves down here. There are a lot of grilling up of graves here. Brixton Hill. I've never heard that name before. Brixton Hill. So I'm going inside of this grave. I'm going to find out. Not grave, graves. There are more than one in here. Louise Anderson. October 1, 1915 to August 8, 2010. And I believe this is her husband. Burchell Grandison. May 1, no, that's May 11, 1898, died August 2, 1990. So they are husband and wives. Husband and wife. So Burchell died in 1990 and his wife died in 2010. So she lived almost like a 20-year period after his death. All right, so we're looking here at the grave of William Thomas. He was called Baba. William Thomas. Born the 3 of the 12th, 1939. Died the 20th of the 8th, 2004. William Thomas. 1939 until 2004. Reasonably long time. I will have to read this grave when I go around the other side. All right. Eliza Agatha Gale. August 28, 1909 to November 20, 2011. This grave really looks nice. Oh my lord. I love the tiling. This is the kind of tiling you want to put into a house. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. There's nothing written on it yet. Nothing put on it yet. But it's a lovely grave. Well designed. Alright. This is the grave of Elaine. No. Stewart. Okay. Stewart. So I'm not sure. It looks like it says Elaine Stewart. She died on the 21 of the 1, 2013, age 69. Nice grave here, but nothing for me to read. Grace Thomas Morgan. So her name is Grace Thomas Morgan, born April 10, 1960, died March 6, 2017. Grace Morgan Thomas. Pretty tile there, Grace. Pretty tile. Pretty tile you have there on your grave. Carmen James. This is the grave of Carmen James, born the 22nd of September 1946, died the 20th of September 2006. So 1946 to 2006. Carmen James. Carmen James. The grave of Carmen James is painted in black and white. William A. Thompson, born October 1, 1942, died February 23, 1998. William A. Thompson, 1942 to 1998. 1998 was the year I left school. 1998. So I saw this grave now. I was saying they're buried behind each other, but they grilled it, this long grill right around it. So when I see this, I usually say husband and wife. So let me find out if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'm gonna go inside. This is the grave of, I'm going to read the entire epitaph. It says, in loving memory of a dear husband and father, James Lennon Brown, 10 of the 10, 1900, and died the 28th of the 8th, 1997. James Brown. James Brown. And in front of him, I'm going to assume that this is the resting place of his wife, Adassa W. Brown. In loving and never fading memory of Adassa W. Brown, born June 7, 1902, departed November 29, 1964. So she died before James. James died in 1997. She died in 1964. You know what I noticed about this grave is the wreath. Look at this wreath. It's lovely. And it's not something that can just, you know, die that easy. It's lovely. Lovely. Lovely wreath. Adassa Brown, 1902 to 1964. And behind her is her husband, James Brown, 1900 to 1997. It's getting cloudy. I'm all the way in Clarendon, and it's the same thing I noticed happening here. In St. Elizabeth, the rain, the sky would get cloudy around this time, after 12 up to 1 o'clock, and then it starts falling. So it seems like it's happening all over the island. So I'm going to hurry up because I know I'm in Forepath, Clarendon. That's Brixton Hill, Forepath, Clarendon. And going back I have to travel from Brixton Hill to Maypen, and from Maypen to Mandeville, and from Mandeville to Santa Cruz, and from Santa Cruz to where I live. So you know that's some lot of driving up and down in public vehicles. Here I'm at the grave of Doreen Rosetta Lewin, born November 10, 1936, died October 11, 2009. Doreen, this is your grave, Doreen. Your resting place. And here we are at a very small grave. Small grave. Must be a 1-year-old child. Well, we'll read. And no, hold on. This is not a child's grave. This is actually an urnment. One of my subscribers corrected me. Don't say grave. It's an urnment because it's urn under there. Say Mistress hold on. Mistress Letitia Veronica Ellis, 16 of the 11, 1926. That's when she born, the 16th of November, 1926. And she died the 30 of the 5, 2007. And we also have Leonard Emmanuel Williams, the 16th of the 10, 1930 to the 10 of the 3, 2011. So this is the urn. Urns are under this. Urns. This is the grave of Rispa Maud Ferron. Rispa Maud Ferron. The 15th of the 10, 1911 to the 26th of the 3, 2006. And we have here the grave of, was born in November 1927 and she died in November 2014. So she was a November girl. Something about November. This is a young girl. This is a young woman. Well, a young face. Let me see if she was young. Says, with cherished memories of dear Vereen Winelia Allen, So I'm going to say Vereen Allen. November 28, 1981 to November 7, 1997. Vereen Allen. She was young. 1981 to 1997. Oh my, she was young. If I can do my maths. So she was about 16 years old, right? She was about 16. Hope I can find something as to what happened to her. So this is the grave of Vereen Allen. Died very young. Something must have happened, either illness or some tragedy. I'll see what I can find. Here we're looking at the grave of Herman James. This is the grave of Herman James, born 1903, died 1997. Herman James. This is the tomb of Riley May MacDonald. Riley May MacDonald. He was born March 4, 1941, died July 22, 1990. Riley MacDonald. All right. This is so small. I'm assuming this will be an urn. This will be an urn. This is the grave of Arthur Fitzroy. Arthur Fitzroy Hodge. April 23, 1940 to January 1, 2024. So he died last year, the beginning of last year, 2024. Arthur Fitzroy Hodge. I've never heard that last name before. Hodge. And here we're at the, wow, I love this. This look really nice. This is the resting place of this man here. Here's his photograph. It says George Josiah Atkins. Just one. So they used to call him Just One. Just One. Sunrise November 27, 1927 to November 12, 2023. He was an old man. This was a younger picture of him. 4 more years and he would have been 100. George Josiah Atkins, aka Just One. So this is like the newer section of the graveyard. The newer section. So here we are at the grave of Hubert Arnold MacDonald. Another MacDonald, Hubert MacDonald, May 26, 1943 to March 23, 2021. I hate that sorry. Winston Bernard MacDonald. Another MacDonald. They must be related. 1945 to 2014. Let me go over here. I'm doing this fast because down here feels so lonely. You know, there's no one here. Literally no one. So you have Marcia Yvette Morgan, 1962 to 2005. I'm just gonna go as fast like that. Kind of creepy being down here by myself. Henry Eastwood, born January 24, 1944, died November 3, 2022. Look at this grave. This grave here, there's no one, there's nothing written on it, and they throw a lot of dirt here. uh, this is an old grave again. Nothing on it. They probably had some things on it, but then over time it all got rubbed out. This again had nothing on it, nothing in terms of words, but there is a picture. There's a picture of a lady, so we know that's her buried there, her body buried there. What is this? Vinette Shorter. I've never heard that last name, Shorter. In loving memory of Vinette Shorter. She's described as mother and grandmother. And they said she was born October 17, 1917, died September 9, 2005. 1917 to 2005. Vincent Allison. Vincent Allison. August 3, 1923 to January 26, 2009. And down here we have this all grilled up, looking really good. This thing is all grilled up, looking really nice. I think I can read it here. All right, it says Melvina Smith. She was called Cooley, 1939 to 2012. Well, Cooley, you got a really nice grave here. Really lovely grave. They love you, Cooley. Oh, can't read this. Shirley. I'm not sure what the Knight. Could be Shirley Knight. March 14, 1940 to February 18, 2013. Kingsley. Is that Kingsley? Yeah, I think it says Kingsley. Kingsley George Henry, 1937 to 2015. I don't know what this last name is, but this is Hyacinth. Oh, Hyacinth Edwards. But she was first called Spate. Hyacinth Edwards, 1921 to November 3, 2014. Hyacinth Edwards. There's a picture on this one. Let me see. Is there a gate? It's locked with a padlock. So let me see if I can read it from afar here. I'm gonna go to the side where the picture is. Says, in loving memory of a dear husband, father, grandfather, and great grandfather, Cleveland, Washington, Lloyd. November 11, 1929 to October 1, 2013. And that's his photograph there. Cleveland Lloyd. He looked as if he had traveled, like he was living overseas or something. This is the grave of Asbert Moody Gale, 1910 to October to 1910 to September 2, 1999, and I believe that would be his wife over there, and she is Ruth Knight Gale, born April 18, 1918, died November 11, 2014. All right. Another grave here left unmarked. Come on. Don't leave graves unmarked. Ephraim Getman. Ephraim Getman. Born August 20, 1942, died January 26, 2014. Ephraim Getman, 1942 to 2014. Loletta Edwards. This is her picture, Loletta Edwards. August 17, 1928 to July 2, 2018. Loletta Edwards. Guy A. Ashley. Born August 14, 1923. Died March 4, 2017. Hilkia Rupert Allison, they call him Busha, 1923 to 2016. Busha. They call him Busha. This is a grave that's not very long here. Not very long here. This is the grave of Walter Fitzalbert McCormack, 1926 to 2021. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, wow. And now I'm finally at the last two graves. Beresford Shorter. So I see the name again, Shorter, the surname Shorter. Beresford Shorter. 1938 to 2016. With him all grilled around, I'm assuming this is his wife inside of here. Let me pull it and go inside. This is the grave of Sylvia Shorter, 1935 to 2020. Sylvia Shorter. So she died 4 years after her husband here, Beresford Shorter. Right, so let me get out of the grilled up area with their graves. Alright guys, so that's it for me here from Brixton Hill, a place that I never heard of before. Now just heard of it, and I'm showing you the resting place of the people on this graveyard, this churchyard. I came here to do the grave of Herb McKinley's mother, and the idea came to my mind, say, do the graveyard. So many of you will see somebody who you knew, and some of you related to. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in another interesting video like this.